BBC Radio Berkshire.
The lunchtime news.
It is BBC Radio Berkshire. It's fast approaching 1:10 and Heathrow is changing the way planes land at the airport from today, which it claims will reduce some of the aircraft noise. The airport says the trial will involve landing aircraft at a steeper angle. The trial has been approved by the Civil Aviation Authority and is planned to run from the 14th of September until the 16th of March 2016. Former Maidenhead and Councillor Wisdom de Costa lives in Windsor and lives right under the flight path and joins us now. Good afternoon, Wisdom.
Good afternoon, Paul.
So the planes are going to be 100 feet higher where you are, so will you notice any difference at all, do you think?
I don't think we'll notice much difference at all. It will take them up from 1,500 to 1,600 feet, and so the volume difference will be not really appreciable. I think the bigger effect is more that is the frequency of planes. That's what really disturbs and disrupts people, as the government's own sort of research has said. And when you look at the third runway, they'll actually bring planes in at 300 feet lower again, and another 600 of them. So thank you very much, Heathrow, but please try harder.
Well, of course, they're also saying that there are going to be quieter planes, inevitably, and some of those are already in service. Have you noticed any difference on that front? The technology may make things quieter.
Technology doesn't make things quieter. The new planes are certainly quieter. It is true. And I think the government, as I said, in RB studies said that it's not really the peak level of noise, which can reach 80 decibels over my house. It's more to do with the frequency. So when you've got sort of one plane coming every 60 to 90 seconds from 6:30 in the morning to 11:30 at night, causes problems for residents, especially younger parents.
In fact, I used to live in Wandsworth in southwest London back in the 80s, and the planes there, and this is when Concorde was still flying, the planes there would come over maybe every 5-6 minutes. I've kept in touch with people who live there. They're now getting planes every 40 seconds.
Yeah, it's distressing. It's wearing. It's like working on a night shift where you just don't get enough sleep at night.
And what would you like to see happen in an ideal world? Obviously, you don't want the third runway, presumably. What else would you like to see happen?
Absolutely no third runway. I'd agree with that. In terms of what else they can do, well, they can work harder to try and get a fair distribution of aircraft across all the runways. At the moment, on easterly operations, 100% of the planes come over Windsor, so they really need to work at that. I think Heathrow also need to take a leaf out of Gatwick's book, who are taking noise mitigation much more seriously and applying more stringent measures. They're making more funds available, which is what it boils down to a much wider patch area than Heathrow are even trying to bother with.
Now, you're part of the West Windsor Residents Association. Do you have regular meetings with Heathrow? Have you raised your concerns with them recently?
Personally, no. We sort of tend to work through the Royal Borough of Windsor Maidenhead's Aviation Forum, and of course there are other organisations like Hakan and Kane now, which are sort of growing to try and help coordinate things for residents. So we're part of a groupings of people. So we join with others rather than trying to sort of plough our own furrow.
The difficulty is, I suppose, the difficulty is for some people listening that they'll say, well, actually, if you're living in Windsor, if you're living near Heathrow Airport, if you're on the flight path, you kind of knew that when you moved in. So really, you've made your own bed.
It's a point, isn't it? But I would say, well, hold on, you buy a house near a road, but you don't expect them to turn the road into a motorway. So, let's be a little bit reasonable about this. And I think with Heathrow, ask them to talk more and coordinate more with local residents.
Thank you very much for joining us. Wisdom de Costa, we've spoken before, I'm sure we'll speak again. Wisdom, that's Wisdom speaking to BBC Radio Berkshire.